Right, today we've got some quite tricky questions, but I think you can work through them if you just keep on going back to this principle. We have looked previously at squares and rectangles, and when we've got a square or a rectangle, what we found out is if you go directly corner to corner with a straight line, it cuts a rectangle or a square into two equal triangles. So actually you can do this for any four-sided shape. Let's say it's a parallelogram like that. If you draw a straight line corner to corner, you're going to get two equal triangles. We're now going to look at polygons or shapes with more sides than four. So we're going to look at five-sided shapes, pentagons, six-sided hexagons, seven-sided septagons, eight-sided octagons, nine-sided are called nonagons, and 10-sided decagons. I'm going to show you a sort of basic concept, and I'm going to just freehand draw a hexagon here. Whoop. So we've got six sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. With my hexagon, if I go corner to corner, I can start to make 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles. Now it has to be from one corner to one corner for this to work. So I've got 4 triangles. So I've got 4 times 180 degrees, because we know that internal angles of a triangle have to be 180 degrees. So what is 4 times 180? Quick bit of mental maths. I think it's 720. Yep, 720 degrees. So inside, if we added up all of the angles inside this hexagon, we're going to get to 720 degrees. And we can work that out by realizing that inside of this shape are 4 triangles, so it has to be 4 times 180. It works exactly the same with a pentagon. With a decagon, you could draw it out, make your triangles, and find out what the internal angles are. That is sort of tip number 1, and it might help you with some of the questions here. Next one really is just thinking about, so let's say I've got a pentagon. Pentagon I can make into 1, 2, 3 triangles. They're not equal, right? But what I know is that that one's 180, that one's 180, and that one has to be 180 degrees. They all have to be 180 degrees. So 3 times 180 is going to be 540 degrees. So the internal angles of my pentagon are going to add up to 540 degrees. So how do we find out what one of those is then? All of them together are 540, and how many have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perhaps, obviously, it's a pentagon. So we can do this type of sum. Bit of basic division. 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 40. Well, it's 0 there, and then a 40, it's 108. So each of these internal angles of a regular pentagon will be 108 degrees. You can do that for any of the shapes. You can find out the hexagon by saying 720 divided by 6 this time, because we've got 6 there. That'll be 1. Carry the 1. That'll be 2. And 0. So the hexagon internal angle is 120. And you could do it for 7, 8, 9, 10, as long as you know what the full internal angle amount is, and then obviously however many angles you've got to divide it by. They're my 2 tips for today. Have a go at working through the questions. I know it's a bit tricky. Give it a go though, and maybe just keep on kind of coming back to this really for just the sort of basic tips. And any questions, drop